Meanwhile, the Department of Justice is gearing up to fight a new battle against affirmative action. CBS News has confirmed that the Trump administration is looking to investigate and sue universities over admissions policies that allegedly discriminate against certain applicants. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington for us with the latest. Hey, Paula. So the Justice Department announced it is seeking lawyers for these investigations. That's the document the New York Times got. What will these probes look like?
So they're going to look at any admissions criteria, any sort of requirements to get into a college or university that they believe give preference to certain minorities over particularly white or Asian students. So they're essentially taking the view of this affirmative action that if some people get an advantage from using race as one of the factors that is considered, some people must be disadvantaged. Now, this is a theory that has prevailed in a lot of conservative circles, and now it will have the full weight of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division behind it.
And of course, a lot of those supposedly disadvantaged students end up being white and Asian students. The Supreme Court, though, they have upheld affirmative action over and over, saying it is constitutional to consider race in admissions. So on what legal basis is the Trump administration targeting that policy now?
Exactly. Just as early as last year, the Supreme Court said once again that, yes, you can use race as one of many factors in admissions decisions, but it was a real squeaker of a decision. And I think the Trump administration is trying to take advantage of the timing here and find another plaintiff who they can prove wasn't considered just based on one factor, that it was actually a quota or something that proved to be a disadvantage to other students, and that is what got that student in. They're trying to find that perfect plaintiff to bring the case back before the Supreme Court.
What evidence would these lawyers have to present to support their case against affirmative action?
They'd have to prove that this college or university wasn't acting within the scope of the Supreme Court's decision. They would have to prove that the school had a quota system that it was trying to reach, or that it used racial considerations beyond just one factor out of many. That's what the Supreme Court says you can do. But if they can prove that schools are not doing that, that could potentially get this case before the Supreme Court. And there have been sort of a wave of lawsuits filed, particularly by Asian students, making this argument that they are disadvantaged by these programs that are meant to increase diversity.
What is the Justice Department saying about all this?
They're not really commenting officially, but they will say that this is not a new policy, that there's no new approach, that if they ever see discrimination, that they will litigate and fight it. And I think that's right historically. While this is an enormous departure from the Obama Justice Department, we knew that a Jeff Sessions Civil Rights Department was going to look a lot different than Eric Holder's Civil Rights Department or Loretta Lynch's Civil Rights Department. And historically, many Republican administrations have not really supported affirmative action, though it would be somewhat unusual for the Justice Department to start seeking out and then filing lawsuits to fight this policy.
Before I let you go, do you see this having anything to do with that rift between President Trump and his AG, Sessions?
I don't. While this is certainly a nod to the base, this has been an issue that Sessions has supported for a long time. And one thing I can tell you about that rift is during the whole time that has been going on, Jeff Sessions just kept doing Jeff Sessions. You know, he kept doing the same things he was doing before. He's been called a lot of names over the course of his career. I don't think calling him beleaguered really took him off track. So I think that this was going to happen regardless of what the president thought of Jeff Sessions over the past few weeks.
That's right. A lot of critics, when Sessions was appointed, worried how he would deal with the Civil Rights Office in the Justice Department. And now we're seeing how he thinks of civil rights. Paula Reid in Washington, thanks so much.